only be in the channel.
Right, I'll just do a tiny bit. I'm not going to do a great deal today, but this was the one that I started last week, and I'll do a little bit more to that in a minute. So this is our last session, so happy Christmas everybody, hope you have a lovely time. So we're now stopping after today till the 9th, so we've got 2 weeks off. Back on the 9th, yeah, 9th of January. Yeah. So in the new year, I thought what we'd do is I'm going to go over a lot of the basics in the new year, so that will suit anybody who's relatively new to the class. So I thought I'd start off with an oil painting course, which can be either traditional oils, water mixable oils, or if you wanted to use acrylics, you could apply that in acrylics. So I thought it's an opportunity just to go over some of the basics, cover all the stuff about materials and brushes and the sort of equipment you might need if you're using oils or acrylics. A lot of this you probably know already, but it might help anybody who's a little bit newer to some of the mediums. I'll bring my oils in, so if anybody wants to try oils and see if they like them, you're welcome to use what I've got and see how you get on. So that'll be the theme for January. There's 4 weeks in January. And it'll probably be fairly simple subject matters. I might try, if we can, maybe a simple landscape and a simple still life. Perhaps set something up, you could set something up on the benches and see how it goes. But fairly simple subject. So that's the plan for January. With this one, so this is what I did last week, and then I've added a little bit to it this morning. And I'll just go over some of those little bits if I can. So where there's a little bit of snow, I've just added a little bit of white this morning to highlight that. So it's literally with the white watercolour. I always find that the white doesn't stand out as well as, it's not as bright as the white of the paper, because I've actually put some on there, but to be honest, it's almost the same tone as the sky. But it's quite handy, just for dropping in highlights. I've added a few bits to these bits here, just to get those to stand out. I'll just go over those just to get them to stand forward. But essentially it's watercolour. I've tried to keep the watercolour qualities, keep the light, the white paper shining through the colours. So rather than, and then a little bit of highlights on two of these, it just helps to break that up. The other thing I did here was just a little bit of pastel just here. So that's quite nice for textures. Just getting a little bit of pastel, dragging that over the side there. A little bit of pastel. So with the white pastel, what I do is I just clean it up first. They soon can get dirty, but it's quite nice for just sort of breaking up. You can soften that in and just picking up a little bit of texture on the concrete wall and things like that. It's also, you could add a few dots and dashes here and there. It's another alternative way of adding lights and highlights to watercolour. So that's that one. The other ones I've used as demos. This was quite a nice sort of Hadley scene. And I thought this one probably wanted some slightly stronger darks. So just put a little bit of variety, just perhaps in here, just to break that up a little bit. The other thing is, this isn't a watercolour brush, but sometimes these can be quite good for textures, adding a little bit of texture perhaps. So I could just soften out that area. And I was thinking things like these, the trees here. Not sure where I've done most of that one. But yeah, perhaps a little bit more kind of texture in the tree. Just to kind of animate that a little bit. It's always worth just practicing on a little bit of scrap. Just practice down here, just to get some different marks. And what I try to do is just alternate the marks a little bit, so I'm not just using the brush in the same way. So rather than have a tree and just do that everywhere, I perhaps use the flat of the brush, the edge of the brush, the tip of the brush, and just alternate a little bit. And that way you can get a nice lively look to the paintwork. Is that enough to get you going? Yes. Yeah, right, so I'll leave it at that.